Hello viewer, isn't this nice? Well, it was a lot nicer a few days ago, but then again, this is the start of May, so it's not surprising. We're in Alcudia, in the north of Mallorca, once again, for the Ironman 70.3 competition. So I was here 1 year ago. I did the Ironman 70.3 in 2024. Had such a good time, I immediately signed up for the 2025 version. Unfortunately, a lot can happen in a year, although it's quite a good year. I did a couple of marathons, Ironman, stuff like that. Come January this year, I hurt my foot. And I really hurt my foot, and something tendony went bad inside. So since the start of January, which is about, what, 4 months ago, I've done absolutely no running, zero, not a pace. So I thought, well, I can still do cycling, I can still train swimming. And then we did a scan a little bit later in February, and the doctor said, you've got to stop cycling. It's not fixing at all. So we stopped cycling. So I thought, well, we can do swimming. And 2 or 3 weeks ago, just as we were getting into the sort of let's do some long swims, something went wrong in my ears. My semicircular canals suddenly gained some crystals that they shouldn't have, and I lost my sense of balance. So you wake up in the morning, you roll out of bed, and the world is turning, like just turning around. And you sit and you wait a little bit, and eventually it stops turning. Nothing physically wrong, big deal, just the sensor problem. So obviously I cannot swim, because you can't do the swapping your head around side to side. If I try that, I immediately feel seasick. So that was swimming out. So it'd been Mallorca, Alcudia. We'd booked a house. We'd be planning to come here for 3 weeks, race in the middle, generally have a holiday. So if you can't do the Ironman, do you still go on holiday? Well, yes you do. Because not doing the Ironman is a sort of a fluid situation. You always figure, I always figure, that things are going to fix magically. It just needs time. So we arrived here a few days ago on a blue sky, really sunny day, and immediately went out cycling. And I can get away with the cycling. The foot is a lot better since January. The balance is a lot better since a couple of weeks ago, but both are still causing problems. We did a 20k flat ride, a 30k flat ride, a 40k mountain ride, and we were sort of cycling I can do. But when we finished the 40k cycling ride yesterday, my head was turning around like you wouldn't believe. So I keep putting off trying to swim. So I'm still putting off trying to swim. So today is Friday. The race is 1 week tomorrow. How much I will fix in 1 week, who knows? So this is going to be more than your usual, how's the Ironman going to go? Because at the moment I don't even know if I can even start. If I can't swim, then I can't swim. If I'm going to be seasick as soon as I start moving my head around, that's not going to work. Equally, if I get out of the water and my world is spinning around, I'm not going to be able to run the 300 meters to get to the bike park. So that's not going to work. But I get over a week, maybe it'll fix, we shall see. I could always do breaststroke, of course. In Vichy in 2016, the water was so warm, it was in August, that wetsuits weren't allowed. So I did the entire 70.3 swim, the 1.9k in breaststroke, and that worked really well. I was actually surprised. At least with breaststroke you can see where you're going. Here though, the water's cool. I'm going to need a wetsuit, so doing breaststroke in a wetsuit is not going to work very well, I guess, although I must admit I never tried it really. So if I can do the swim and I can start the bike, will I be able to do the bike in the time available? Certainly if I can start the bike I will try to do the whole route, and if I'm out of time I'm out of time, because I mean I'm not trained for months on the bike, so I really don't know how it's going to pan out. And then if we finish the bike, what state we're going to be in for the run. This week I've done 2k jogs just to see if I can do it without my foot hurting too much. And okay, what's too much? My foot does hurt, but it's not hurting too much. So again, it's very much an open question about how we're going to be in a week's time. I mean, I've done this before. I mean, I've been doing this thing for 20 years, marathons and Ironmans and stuff. So it's not like I don't know what to expect. But honestly, when you get to this age, it's all about trying to finish inside the cut-off time. It's nothing to do with personal bests anymore and all that stuff. So that brings you back to, if you're here, you want to do the swim, you want to do the bike. Well, ultimately you want to do the bike. You don't really want to do the swim, but that's just part of the deal. So if you're here, it's all ready, the bike course is available. Go out, do the bike, have fun. You just have to survive the swim to get to the bike, and whether you can do the run afterwards, it doesn't really matter. It's all about the bike. So as we're here, this is the start area for the swim. Out there is the swim. It's just straight out for what, 900 meters, turn around and come back again, and then we go across the beach through those buildings and over to the bike park. I'll show you the bike park in a moment. The tents over there will be the expo and the organisation and registration and all that stuff. Probably start building that into Ironman themed in a few days, I guess. This will be the finish area. So this entire area will be Ironman themed in a few days. Between the athletes finishing area, the expo, all the shops, all that stuff, it will all be here. Whether I make it this far is a big question. Look at this, I found a map. We can do some orientation. So I started filming around here, talked while walking up the beach. Over here is where the expo and the tent is and all that stuff. So the start is about here. We swim out, around and back again. Run through here to the little bus sign. This is the bike park. Get on our bikes, go out here, down this road, up that road, past Old Alcudia, then out down to the beach and off into the wilderness. We come back down here, somehow work our way back to the bike park, and from the bike park we just run 3 times, sort of like that, and then finish here. How hard can it be? So in a few days time this will all be gone, and that road will be the bike park. Something like 3,000 bikes will be parked along here. Down there we've got the road down to the beach, possibly just see the sea in the distance, and the grass will be covered in portaloos. This is my third time doing this race. I know everything about it. No surprises apart from internally. So as I was saying, this entire road will be the bike park in a week's time. I think it's possibly the biggest 70.3 in the world participation wise, and I think there's something like 3,500 bicycles will be here. You'll see, that'll be amazing. Whether my bike's there or not is something else. So as I was saying, I know everything about this race. This is my third time here. The first time was in 2018 when I tried to do the 3 70.3 Ironmans in 4 weeks. Specifically 4 weeks because that's all that was available. So I did the first one in Marbella. A week later, well, it was a week off, so we went to Gibraltar. The next week it was here in Alcudia, Mallorca. Did that. And then the next weekend it was Barcelona. Unfortunately, I had such a nice time on the bike here, I forgot to eat. So by the time I'd finished the run, I was dead on my feet, and then spent 3 days in hospital being pumped up again. That, of course, stopped me from doing the Barcelona Ironman 70.3 a few days later. So I was all a bit sad. So I'm sure I could have done that. As a side note, last year I did 2 marathons in 1 week. I did the Nice Marathon in France, and then the weekend after I did the Athens Marathon, from Marathon to Greece. So this sort of stuff is possible. Just have to remember to eat. So I think Alcudia 2018 makes a sort of interesting story. The swim went okay. The bike, it's flat, then there's a hill, and then it's flat. Now I'm absolutely no good at trying to eat going uphill, so most of my eating is supposed to be on the downhill. The downhill was so beautiful, so amazing, and the flat was so nice coming back into Alcudia that I just forgot to eat. I had all the food on my bike, I just didn't eat it. And when I got to the bike park, I realized that my bike had all the food on it. So I got onto the run, and every time I got to a services, I tried to eat energy gels, and I knew I was in trouble. But the energy gels on an empty stomach like that, I was just starting to feel more and more ill. So I just pushed on, and I got to the end, and I got the finisher's medal, and I sat down, and the world went black and white and blotchy. And I sat for a while, and eventually I got up and made my way out of the athlete's tent to go pick up my bike. And on the way, I put my transition bag on the floor. I bent down to get my phone out of the bag, and the road came up and hit me on the back of the head. Strangest thing ever. And I knew straight away I needed to get up and look like I'm moving. But before I had chance, some kind person had collected me, called the ambulances, and I was in the ambulance, where I promptly threw up all my energy gels. Sorry. Spent 3 days in hospital on a drip. Penny, my wife, was not impressed. That was our holiday. So we went to Barcelona next, and of course that was it. I was in no state to even try the Barcelona Ironman, so it turned out to be the first Ironman I'd actually been to and not taken part in. So it was, that itself made for a bit of an interesting experience. All part of the fun. Don't forget to eat. Drum that into your head. This road's actually part of the run course. We come through the housing estate over there, along this road, up here, left at the end, and disappear down that way. A couple of kilometers round a tree, over onto the beach and back up. I'll make a video a little bit later on if I can jog that far. Well, thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it interesting. I will post some updates during the week.